to make it to a bowl this season. Perfect nightcap for your Saturday evening of college football. Trojans and Bruins underway. UCLA starting offense delivered by Papa John's. Deshaun Foster wants to reignite this running game and lean on it early. He told us yesterday they would love to have a repeat performance from TJ Harden, who had a career day, as you can see, against USC last year. Going for over 100 yards. He's only done that once this year. And Colt, this running game needs to be better than it was last week in Washington.
Yeah, they really do. They could really use TJ Harden to step up and make some plays early in this game. They're at their best when they are efficient running the football. Last week they struggled a bunch. It'd be important for them in this rivalry game to get that going early.
Ethan Garbers gives up the middle, and a nice gain for the Bruins to get it started out to the 33-yard line. TJ Harden picks up 8. Offensive line story for UCLA is not what they want it to be. This is the 6th different combination of starters they've had to use this year. At left tackle, number 67, is Utaka Mahe. He is a walk-on. He didn't play football in high school. Got some reps last week at Washington, but this is his first start. He's the 4th left tackle to start for the Bruins this season. Second down 2. Garbers the pass for the first time. Lets it go. First down Bruins out to the 46. Titus Mokiao, Atimalala. Ethan Garbers starting at quarterback is enjoying his first full year as the starter at UCLA. When he keeps the interceptions down and you see that number has crept up into the double digits, he's been an effective quarterback.
He really has. He's not overly flashy, but when he steps up in the pocket and moves and keeps his eyes downfield, finds quick completions like that, he's very effective.
Starts out 1 for 1, 13 yards. He'll keep it himself, moving to the left. Has 2 completions and 2 first downs. Bruins inside of Trojan territory. Second catch of the night for Atimalala. This time he gets 16.
Yeah, this is a really good job by UCLA. We talked about they want to be efficient on first down. Nice job moving out of the pocket, rolling to his left, finds his good star receiver, Titus Mokiao Atimalala, right in there behind the linebackers. Good execution. All those play actions come and bootlegs come because they were able to run the ball effectively on first down.
Mokiao Atimalala, multiple catches in every game he's played this season. He's already checked that box tonight. TJ Harden stretching and making it out to the 35-yard line. Picks up a couple that time. USC defense led by Danton Lynn. He was the UCLA defensive coordinator a year ago, benefiting from the playmaking in the back end of corner Jalen Smith. Grew up near Los Angeles, told us this week he remembers coming to this game as a 3- and 4-year-old with his dad, and we checked, always cheering for the Trojans.
He's been a really good surprise for USC. He's played a lot of positions on defense. Now he's starring at corner this year.
Keegan Jones in a tailback for the first time for Harden. He's now 3 for 3 to start. Short gain, though, out across the 35. Once again, Mokiao Atimalala, this time wrapped up by Covington to bring up third down after a 2-yard gain. First third down situation for Eric Bieniemy, the first-year offensive coordinator for the Bruins.
Yeah, it was a good stop there by USC's defense. Now they're getting into almost scoring territory. Big third down. Wouldn't be surprised at all if they blitz Ethan Garbers here, not let him have all day to throw.
As the Bruins have won 3 of the last 4, they have converted more than half of their third downs. This is 3rd and 6. In trouble, sacked. Oh, he just got it away. USC thinks it's a fumble. They pick it up. They run it out to the 50-yard line. Fumble or incompletion, ruled a fumble on the field. Easton Mascarenas Arnold knocked it loose, 17-yard return. The linebackers going to work here for the Trojans. Ruled a fumble on the field. They'll take a close look, and we'll come back to the Rose Bowl. Moments ago, this was ruled a fumble on the field. We just heard moments ago from referee Mark Luzinski that it's reversed and it's ruled an incomplete pass. Our rules analyst tonight is Reggie Smith. Reggie, what do you think?
This is absolutely a very good decision in replay. As the referee mentioned, he had control of the ball and an intentional forward movement. This was properly reversed to an incomplete pass.
Okay, thank you very much, Reggie. And we look out on the field now and see UCLA is going to attempt a field goal. Mateen Bagani. And this is from some distance, middle of the field from 51 yards out. His long this season is 57. It took place right here on this field a couple of weeks ago against Iowa. 51 yards out to get the Bruins on the board. Mateen Bagani is up, and he is right down the middle. 51 yards out. Deshaun Foster and UCLA lead by 3. He took over in the second half of the first game of the season and has been the kicker ever since, and that was dead true the entire way. Now 3 out of 5 above 50 yards this year, and Deshaun Foster says yes. Let's go back to the studio and check in with Jordan Cornette for a game break.
Texas A&M, Auburn in a good one. And it's
very much. How about the chaos in the top 12, the top 15 today, Cole?
I know. So many upsets. Ole Miss dropped one against Florida. That was a big game. This college football playoff committee has their hands full figuring out who this top 12 is going to be at the end of this season. There's still some big games to play. A&M pulls that one off. Texas and Texas A&M going at it next week. That's going to be a fun one.
UCLA gets off to a good start here tonight at the Rose Bowl. First drive, 7 plays, 42 yards, a little over 3 minutes off the clock. And they lead 3-zip. USC will begin from the 25-yard line. USC starting offense delivered by Papa John's, quarterbacked by Jaden Mayaba for the second week in a row. But running back Woody Marks has become a go-to option on Lincoln Riley's play sheet. Another 100-yard game last week, put him over 1,000 for the season.
Woody Marks is Mr. Do-It-All. I know Jaden Mayaba is making his second start here in the rivalry game. Big game for him, but Woody Marks has just been steady all year. He's coming off one of his best performances last week. Be key for them to get him touches early.
Coming off his absolute best performance, 146 yards last week in that win against the Cornhuskers. Mayaba to throw right away, swings it out of the backfield, has a completion, good cutback by Marks, and a big gain. He's now caught a pass in 56 consecutive games. Big gain on their first play.
I mean, I like the play design. It's a little screen. He's going to have a couple tight ends out in front to block, but the UCLA has him stuffed. Woody Marks puts his foot in the ground, makes a great move, gets vertical, and turns a no gain into a big first down. First play of the game.
That's 56 consecutive games. That is the best streak in the nation. Pretty good for a running back. First and 10 Trojans, give it to him up the middle. This time hitting the backfield and dropped. Femi Oladejo. 6 tackles for loss the last 2 games coming in. That's a no gain. Jaden Mayaba made his first start for SC, as we talked about last week against Nebraska. Recovered very well from an early pick 6. Ended up accounting for 4 touchdowns, 3 passes, and 1 on the ground.
Yeah, he showed a lot of poise last week after an early pick 6 to come back and respond the way he did. Played really well that second half against Nebraska.
Mayaba's 1 for 1. Lets one go deep down the middle. Too much. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Zachariah Branch, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and that's what you get with Jaden Mayaba. They're going to throw a screen early, then they're going to take their shots. UCLA really does a nice job of trusting their front to get to the quarterback and playing 2 deep safeties. I like the aggressiveness. That's what you get from Jaden. He's going to push the ball down the field whenever he gets a chance. Missed one there, but stay aggressive.
Bruin D coordinator Ikaika Malloy telling us yesterday they wouldn't blitz much, but maybe on 3rd and long they would. See if they bring some pressure. They rush only 4. Ball batted out. Knocked to the ground to the 35. Bruin pass rush led by Jay Toia. He's the one who got a hand on it. Brings up 4th and 10.
Yeah, we're going to call Jay Toia's name a lot tonight. He is a monster up front. Gets kind of stalled in his pass rush, but puts his hand up, knocks the ball down. He is a disruptor, an old school disruptor.
The heart and soul of the UCLA team. The defense, as labeled by Deshaun Foster, comes through early. And this has been such a strong point for USC. Eddie Czaplicki, second in the nation in punting, just under 50 yards per punt. Gets off another good one. Fair catch at the 6-yard line by Logan Loya. Czaplicki does his thing, but the UCLA defense did as well. Ethan Garber is back on the field with a 3-0 early lead.
Crimson Tide. Jalen Milroe hit. Woody Washington with the interception. And the Sooners, this one's gone final. They're victorious 24-3, Paul.
Boy, Alabama now with 3 losses, not the season they saw coming. Here at the Rose Bowl, we take a look at the United Cam. UCLA fans like the way this one has started. First time UCLA had the ball, went down the field. Field goal from 51 yards out. Ethan Garber's making his 17th career start. Starts this one on his own 6-yard line. TJ Harden is the tailback to his right. Harden up the middle, space up the middle. There he goes. TJ Harden, big gain out near midfield. Akili Arnold eventually ran him out of bounds, but that's a gain of 41.
I mean, this is what you want to see from UCLA, finding ways to crease the interior of the defense. Here goes TJ right up the middle, untouched, turns on the burners. And this is something that they just did not do last week. We've talked about their run game. We've talked about their offensive line, the issues they've had. You can't ask for a better start for UCLA up to this point.
It's a Bruin running team coming into this game last in the Big Ten in rushing. Lean it on him right away, just as we were told yesterday. That's a gain of 2. So we take a look at what UCLA has done this season. I guess, Cole, better what they haven't done. It's been a struggle for most of the season for Eric Bieniemy.
It really has, but sitting down with Coach Bieniemy a couple days ago, he just said, I'm going to stick to the run game. I know we haven't been great, but we have to do it. The rest of our offense is built off of that. And listen, you got Deshaun Foster, Eric Bieniemy. These guys played running back. The frustrations, I'm sure, from them are high, and they want to really get this thing going.
2nd down 8 for Ethan Garbers. Nice start for him. He's 3 out of 4. Early movement. There the flags come in.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Yeah, just look at the center here. Pre-snap penalties have just really been a problem for UCLA. And look, you mentioned it, Paul. You're starting your 4th left tackle. You just haven't been able to use all your snap counts, your cadences. They had a couple last week, get one in this game. I mean, penalties are killing UCLA.
See right there, just over 8 per game, most in the Big Ten. 2nd down 13 around the left side. Short gain. They didn't get back to the original line of scrimmage. Gain of 2.
And if you're UCLA, this is just not where you want to live, behind the chains. Running the football allows them to be efficient, but when you're playing 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, I mean, USC brought pressure on the last 3rd down. I expect them to bring it again. UCLA struggled in pass protection in these 3rd and long situations, and no quarterback wants to be here. Ethan Garbers has lived here a lot, and it's tough.
Last 3rd and long they had, middle linebacker Easton Mascarenas Arnold came through, put a big hit on Garbers. This time they bring it from the outside. Escaping to the right, Garber still looking, floats it downfield, just threw that one away. 2nd, 3rd, and long in a row, the Trojan defense comes through.
At 3rd and long, you're trying to push the ball down the field. I like using a little chip protection from your tight end, but everybody's covered. There's really nowhere for Ethan Garbers to go with this ball. Long developing routes. Ethan has to just scramble around and throw it away. Another big stop for UCLA here on 3rd down.
Well, they started on their own 6 for Deshaun Foster. They had that big 41-yard run and couldn't turn it into anything. Penalties once again got him. Brody Richter gets that one away. Fair catch called for on the 10-yard line by Zachariah Branch, All-American last year in that position. We have a flag down back on the 43-yard line near where UCLA punted that one away. And another penalty against the Bruins, and we'll see what the Trojans decide to do with that one. Referee tonight is Mark Kluzinski.
Illegal formation. Kicking team, 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
We saw Lincoln Riley kind of red lips right there, and he said, yeah, we'll take that. We can do better than being on our own 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's right. Make them punt it again. It's hard for these special team groups to run down full speed, cover a punt, see the flag, and know they got to go out and do it again. That's tough.
Punt returner Zachariah Branch, who was terrific last year, as I mentioned, as an All-American, hasn't really gotten it going yet this year. Not as many opportunities. Average way down. What an opportunity to get it going in the right direction here against the Bruins. Lets that one bounce. Takes a UCLA hop. And they down it inside the 5.
Well, Lincoln Riley might have just
Special teams providing big plays for Deshaun Foster, the 51-yard field goal, and the punts that backs the Trojans way up there. Well done on the special teams. To you by Nissan.
Yeah, this is an old school matchup right here. Jonah Monheim, Jay Toia. It's physical. It's big on big. Jonah Monheim's the leader of this offensive line at USC. Jay Toia is just a big, strong, physical, uses his hands great. This matchup tonight is truly one-on-one.
Second time SC has had the ball. They're backed up to the 5-yard line. Mayava gives to Marks, and he's out across the 10-yard line. Nice gain on first down, picks up 7. He hits the hole in a hurry. That stands out right away.
He sure does. You saw him catch a screen early in the game, make a guy miss. He can also run in between the tackles. He is a steady running back, kind of could do it all.
Second down 3, Mayava fakes the short screen, well protected. Still can't find anybody. It just fires it away.
That's a good job by USC's front. They gave Jaden Mayava all day, but we talked about this early. UCLA's defense plays a lot of too-high shell. It's hard to find completions. A lot of eyes are on you while you're in the pocket. He moves around, scrambles, does a nice job just throwing it away, doesn't find anybody that he likes down the field, but that protection is solid. Offensively, USC's offensive line does a really good job in protection.
Has the option to run or throw here on 3rd and 3. Woody Marks in a hurry, and he picks up the first down. Carson Schlesinger, who leads the Big Ten in tackles, makes the tackle, but he picked up 5.
Yeah, this is USC's bread and butter. They're going to pull this guard and tackle. They'll do it on first down. They'll do it on 3rd down.
Trojans operating with pace. Mayava to pass on first down. Lets it go deep down the middle. Completes. Big gain for the Trojans. Makai Lemon picking his way down to the 20-yard line. A strike from Mayava to Lemon.
Yeah, big-time throw by Jaden Mayava, showing off his arm. Has some time in the pocket. Throws a strike across the middle. That was on a rope, an explosive play. And how did this happen? Well, they convert on 3rd down, running the football. That's deflating for a defense, and then they take a shot. Well done by Jaden Mayava and USC.
Lincoln Riley telling us during the week about the effortless power with the release, and we saw it there in the gain of 64. Woody Marks up the middle, inside the 5. Another first down, and this time it's first down and goal for the Trojans. 16-yard gain. SC going with some moderate pace here.
Yeah, and just like this, USC's down the red zone, and one of the weaknesses for UCLA's defense, as good as they are at stopping the run, they have struggled in the red zone.
Teams have scored 95% of the time once they get inside the red zone, one of the worst in the nation. First and goal. Marks drilled in the backfield, but Maava kept it himself to the 2-yard line, picks up a couple. And that's one of the options, one of the reasons that Lincoln Riley made the switch, is that this quarterback can run it.
Yeah, he gives them the flexibility to call some zone reads. Femi Oladejo comes in here and almost blows this up. Good job holding on the football there by Jaden Maava and getting what he can using his legs.
Doesn't run a lot. About 5 times per game, dating back to his starting time last year at UNLV. Ran it 5 times last week as well. See what teams are doing against the Bruins in the red zone. A lot of success. Second and goal. Maava to the end zone. Incomplete. Lake McCree had a shot at it. I think Maava might want that one back.
Yeah, just looks like he overshot him just a hair. Good action to bring the linebackers up to respect the run, and he just barely.
Referee got in the way.
Overshoots him, and the ref, oh my goodness. Lake McCree looks up and says, dude, you're in my way. Jaden Maava can't believe it. That's unfortunate.
High backfield now as Maava goes under center. Marks the tailback. Fake to Marks. On the move to the end zone. Incomplete. Walker Lyons, intended receiver.
I like what USC did there, getting Jaden Maava out of the pocket, giving him that run pass option. He puts it up there where only his guy can make a play on it. That's a huge stop for UCLA's defense. That's much improvement from what we've seen from them all year long, holding USC here to a field goal.
So Michael Lance will come on, 19-yard field goal. He has missed his last 3 field goals. But that one is good. That's the way to get well when you have one from inside of 20 yards. Both sides have a field goal. 3-3 early in the Rose Bowl. He loves that moment in that UCLA win. We had a first chance to sit down and talk to him as they play for the Victory Bell. It's painted blue this year. UCLA won last year, but had a chance to get to know him a little bit yesterday. Low-key, happy to interact and talk Bruin football with us. And the Bruin offense will begin from the 25-yard line. UC head coach now in his first season as the head coach at his alma mater. Ethan Garbers gets rid of it right away and has a nice completion on first down. Close to a first down, picks up 9 to Logan Loya, who Garbers calls Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, Coach Foster was great sitting down talking to us yesterday. They started 1-5. I mean, first-year head coach, a lot of struggles there, but they fight hard. He said whenever he plays opposing coaches, they always tell him, you know, how hard his players play, they're going to figure it out.
Second down 1 is running back TJ Harden, close to a first down. Couldn't find much up the middle. Keely Arnold, one of the safeties, comes up to makes the stop. No gain. Now, he told us yesterday, hey, at 1-5, there's some dark moments there, but his favorite part, you come out and watch us practice when we were 1-5, you wouldn't have been able to tell the team was 1-5, and they've won 3 of their last 4 since that moment. 0 for 2 on third down today. This one's set up for them. They'll run heavy on third down in less than 1. Up the middle again. Once again, the Trojan defense is there, but this time a little extra push after the contact will move the chains in a gain of 2.
Yeah, how about this O-line showing some physicality? 3rd and 1. Lean on USC's defensive line a little bit, and a great job lowering your pads by TJ Harden, pumping his legs, finding a way no matter what to get that first down. I got to tell you, they're much improved tonight so far in the first quarter running the football. And talking about Deshaun Foster, I bet he's got a little smile on his face.
He said, we have to run the ball. I'm a run the ball and play defense kind of guy at heart. First down, they're right back to the ground game, and again they find a little bit of success out to the 40-yard line. Gain of 3. Let's go down to the field and check in with Lewis.
Hey, Paul, Utaka Mahe is the 4th player this season to start at left tackle for the Bruins due to injury, and he's a kid who did not have football at his high school. He played basketball, track and field, even ran cross country by choice just to be in shape. But when the topic of potentially playing college football came up, he immediately really responded, I've got to talk to my mom. I can imagine his mom is happy about the way things have turned out so far with his first start.
Lewis, thank you to Sean Foster telling us yesterday, raving about his physicality and athleticism, even though doesn't have a lot of experience. On the move, boy, that is perfect from Ethan Garbers. Can't throw it any better than that. Mokiao Atimalala has his 4th catch, that time for 10 yards.
Yeah, you don't want to sit back here and stand in the pocket all day with this offensive line. Get them on the move like this. Get a first down on 3rd and short. Ethan Garbers rolls out, throws a strike to Titus Mokiao Atimalala. Very efficient so far by Ethan Garbers.
17 start tonight, as I mentioned, for Garbers. He's not one of these super experienced quarterbacks we're used to seeing in the Big Ten, but not a new guy anymore either. Keegan Jones, the tailback, play action to him. Sets up, he can keep it himself. And he goes down at the 43-yard line.
Good quick decision there by Ethan Garbers. His heavy play action. This becomes part of your game when you're running the ball well. Looks downfield, is kind of covered, and goes and makes positive yards with his feet. He's very good at doing that. Eyes down the field.
USC, we see what he did against them last year, and I reminded him yesterday, this is the first time you'll be going up against a team for the 2nd time as a starter. He kind of smiled. 3 touchdowns in that win last year. Option to the right side. Big hit on the sideline on TJ Harden. Inside a final minute now here in this first quarter. Mascarenas Arnold averages 10 tackles per game the last month.
Yeah, I heard that pop all the way up here in the booth. These linebackers, Mason Cobb, Easton Mascarenas Arnold, they fly around. Delivers a blow right there on the sidelines. Not much going on that option route. Now they're in 3rd down again. Expect USC to bring some heat. It's worked for them on these 5, 6, 7 yard 3rd down tries by UCLA.
Dan Lynn, defensive coordinator for USC at UCLA last year. They'll just let the final seconds tick away here. Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator. Deshaun Foster, a couple of excellent college and NFL running backs. We'll see what they come up with on 3rd and short. Each side has a field goal. The 94th meeting between UCLA and USC here at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Runner pass. TJ Harden's played effectively, but USC is going to bring pressure. You know that.
Garbers will pass, pressure up the middle, chased out. He'll keep it himself, tiptoes down the sideline, and they ruled him out before he got there. He doesn't like the call. He thought he had it.
Oh, that's a great play by Ethan Garbers. Stepped out of bounds. USC brings pressure up the middle. Knows he's got to move. He's got to scramble. He's got to get out of the pocket. Little pump fake on the edge. Oh, almost tight lines the sideline and just steps out of bounds. And I think there's a situation where if you're UCLA, go for it.
Well, I think they hear you, Colt, because they're in the huddle calling a play. Ethan Garbers, senior quarterback, first season at Washington, the last 4 here at UCLA. Big moment now, all tied, going for it on 4th and 2 to start this 2nd quarter.
Better hurry.
Down to 1, they didn't get it off. Called that timeout just before.
UCLA, their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
Let's go back to the studio and check in with Jordan Cornette.
A&M and Auburn. And Auburn
It's been all kinds of fun to watch there. So overtime in that one. Crazy games throughout the afternoon. And a nice start here at the Rose Bowl. 94-time Trojans and Bruins. Deshaun Foster thinking about going for it here on 4th and 2.
Yeah, I think it's a great decision to go for it. It's 4th and 3. You've kind of established your threat of running the football, so you have both those options to run it, to pass it. Maybe get Ethan Garbers on the move. A little move the pocket, get him off his spot, have a couple receivers find their way across the middle.
Well, they have been running the ball successfully. TJ Harden off to an excellent start here tonight. He is the tailback to the left of Garbers on 4th and 2. To pass, middle blitz, over the middle, incomplete. They brought both linebackers, and that led to the incompletion. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, this is what you're going to get by USC on 3rd down and 4th down. They're going to come after you. Looks like Logan Loya is open, running across the middle. Just a little bit of miscommunication. Maybe he wasn't ready for the football. Ethan's got to get it out of his hands.
They picked up that blitz well. He might have had a little more time than he thought. Loya never saw the ball.
Yeah. Ethan Garbers felt like he threw a nice ball. He did. Logan Loya just wasn't ready for it. And on 4th down, that's a crucial miss.
Jade Mayava back on the field. He has his tailback, Woody Marks, the 1,000-yard rusher behind him. Takes the pitch. Mayava chased. And once again, we've seen that already tonight. He just had to throw it away. The blitz coming in from Oladejo. So last week, he got off to a rough start. Not only was he 2 out of 7, there's a pick 6 in there. He said he came over to the sideline. Lincoln Riley said, trust your eyes. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be decisive. And that advice led to a really strong finish for Mayava.
Yeah, he settled in nicely, played well. His poise, his demeanor really grew throughout that game. His first start at USC, a lot of nerves, I'm sure, playing at home. You could just see that when you watch the tape, just his command, his control.
Started last week 2 out of 7. Tonight, similar. He's 2 out of 8. Doesn't have a pick, and he has picked up 80 yards as the penalty markers come in. That play clock wound all the way down.
The ball was snapped. Timeout. USC, their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
So disregard the flag. You heard the timeout was called. So USC comes into this game at 5-5, and what an interesting ride it has been. They have struggled mightily in close games. You back it up, though, they almost made it to the top 10. They won 3 out of the first 4 games, but then the missed opportunities started. Look at those close losses, 1-score losses. And the kicker, the pain is in this, down at the bottom there. They held a lead in the 4th quarter of all 5 of those losses. And that is what led Lincoln Riley to make the somewhat surprising quarterback switch earlier this month from Miller Moss to Jade Mayava. He told us Miller had played either pretty well or really well all season, but we had missed opportunities in those 4th quarters. One of the reasons we weren't finishing people off, and that's why you get the change from Moss on the right to Mayava on the left. Second down 10. Marks hesitates and swarmed by that UCLA defense. Top 10 in the nation in rush defense for the 2nd year in a row. Keeps that to a 1-yard gain.
There's Jay Toia again, just owning the double team up front. They play a light box, 5 or 6 guys in there, and they just figure out ways to stop the run.
3rd and long, Mayava in trouble once again. Back across his body, complete, but wrapped up before the first down at the midfield stripe. Kyron Hudson, the veteran of this wide receiver group, with his first catch. Be about 3 yards short of a first down.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley, I think, is going to leave his offense on the field. He wants to get them going. Got a 4th and 3 situation right at midfield. I don't hate this call.
So they just saw UCLA in about the same spot go for it on 4th and short. Incomplete pass led to this possession, and now it's the Trojans facing 4th and 3.
That's what Jaden Mayava brings to the table. He's aggressive.
And the whistles blow right before that snap.
Timeout. USC, their 2nd of the half. 30-second timeout.
That's tough for USC. Lincoln Riley burning 2 timeouts on this drive. Couldn't get the play call in as the play clock was running down a few snaps ago. Now, big 4th down decision, loses another timeout. Now they have 1 left in the half.
So Lincoln Riley telling us when we talked to him this week, getting back to the switch at quarterback, he said that Jaden can just flat out do more. He brings an element with his legs and has more of a live arm. So you get in a situation like this, and you can lean on either one of those qualities.
That's right. At 4th and 3, Zone read is still an option, moving him outside the pocket to give him an ability to run or pass. And you saw early in this game, he can drop back and throw dimes across the middle. So that added element that Jade Mayava brings to this offense, hard to defend with UCLA.
Riley saying we can do some things schematically with him we wouldn't do with the other guy. Empty backfield now, 3 wideouts to his right and a pair to his left. Tight end McCree joins him on the line of scrimmage. To the air. They need 3. Across his body again. Gets it done. Kyron Hudson for the first down. 14-yard gain.
Really good job there by Jade Mayava. Doesn't like what he sees in the pocket. They go empty. He moves out. Big matchup right there in the front. Jonah Monheim, Jay Towie, we talked about it. There's a battle there every single play. Great job by Jade Mayava finding Kyron Hudson for a first down.
1st and 10, they swing it out to Marks, and right away he's hit. That play worked early in the game, but not that time. KJ Wallace says, no, you don't. Loss of 1.
Jade Mayava so far this game, when he gets outside of the pocket, he's thrown the ball across his body a couple of times, which generally is a no-no for a quarterback, but he's made it work twice. He's a gunslinger.
And watching him last week, Colt, I didn't think he was reckless, but he wasn't careful with the ball either. Paid off for him there earlier. 5 out of 11, just under 100 yards. Second down, 11. Over the middle, almost intercepted. And he snuck that one through to his tight end, Lake McCree. You say he's a risk taker. That counts for a gain of 12.
And that's what you call a tight window throw right there. He had to move off his spot from the mess up in protection. And that is right through the hands of Kane Medrano.
1st and 10 up the middle, down to the 25-yard line. The backup tailback, Quentin Joyner, spelling marks right now. Gets a handful of carries each game.
Throws like that gets you in 3rd and short situations where running the ball gets you a first down. Going for it on 4th down was a good choice by Lincoln Riley.
Trojans operating with pace now. Give it right back to Joyner. Bigger gain this time inside the 10. It will be 1st and goal, USC. Left tackle Elijah Page paved the way for a gain of 22.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. This is their bread and butter. Pulling these linemen to create creases for Quentin Joyner or Woody Marks as they come around. Great job by Elijah Page on the 2nd level. The displacement they get when they do these guard and tackle pull schemes just really crush the defense.
SC's been in this spot once before in the 1st quarter, couldn't punch it in. They settled for a field goal. Joyner, and this time driven back. KJ Wallace from his safety spot in to make that play to bring up 2nd down goal. And Colt, we have talked about the issues with injuries on the offensive line for UCLA. Much different for Lincoln Riley and USC. They've had 1 player miss 1 start the entire year. Continuity up front has been on their side.
The continuity is huge. And this offensive line, we talked about, are very good in protection, but they're also good running east to west, pulling, kicking out defensive ends, getting up to the 2nd level, and it adds that layer of the zone read and the play action passes you can build off of it.
Joyner is checked out. Woody Marks is now the tailback once again. Mayava to throw to the end zone. Too much, incomplete. 3rd and goal.
You don't see a lot of man-to-man from UCLA. They had the big stop down here earlier in the red zone. They switch it up and play man. Jade Mayava just sails it a hair. Good changeup. They're doing a lot of nice things. UCLA's defense down here in the red zone. We know the stats. We know they haven't been good. Changing it up for USC's offense.
11th play of this drive arrives 3rd and goal for Jade Mayava. Play clock is now down to 5. To 1, Mayava gets it off. Quickly to the end zone, batted in the air, and to the ground. Devin Kirkwood got his hands on that one.
And Jade Mayava sees this one-on-one over here, tries to throw a go ball. Good job by Devin Kirkwood, forcing the receiver to go inside on a fade route. UCLA almost comes up with a turnover down here. Jade Mayava very fortunate there, but UCLA's defense holds again.
Michael Lance, 1 for 1 from 19 yards out tonight. This is from 23. And that's right down the middle. Trojans take a lead for the first time tonight at 6-3. They've had it inside the red zone twice. Still looking for their first touchdown, but they do have the lead. Find your way down to SoFi, but we're in Pasadena at the gorgeous Rose Bowl. Tight game as well, almost halfway through the second quarter. USC just kicked a field goal to go on top of the Bruins, 6-3. Michael Lance has a pair of short field goals. Mateen Bagani has one from 51 yards out. The Bruins bringing this one out to the 30, across the 30-yard line goes Keegan Jones. And for the first time, we'll see Ethan Garbers and the Bruins see if they can come from behind. So the first season, he spent it at Washington. And the last 4 here at UCLA, making his 17th start of his career tonight.
We had a good talk with Ethan Garbers yesterday, and he said, what I've done better over the last few weeks is just let the game come to me. I know we're banged up front. I know the offensive line has been a revolving door at left tackle, but I don't need to take sacks. So going into this game, I'm going to do my best to get the ball out and not take sacks, and so far he's done that.
It took 6 last week. He's been much better tonight, and this has been better as well. TJ Harden barreling his way across the 35. There is a penalty down. Would be a gain of 6. Bruins are the most penalized team in the Big Ten.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 72 was not lined up on the line of scrimmage. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Now that is one of their experienced offensive linemen, Garrett DiGiorgio, costing his team 5 yards.
Yeah, all of my offensive line teammates go crazy when this happens. You know, it's a lot of times a tackle will get a warning from the ref, hey, you need to scoot up. Maybe they've already done that. Just looks like he's a little bit off the ball, kind of ticky-tack to me. Protecting those offensive linemen is kind of in my blood.
Emotional 2 weeks here for Ethan Garbers. Last week against the team he initially played for, Washington. Now against the crosstown rival. Nice hole up the middle, and there goes Harden. Another big gain for the Bruin ground game inside of USC territory. Gain of 26.
I mean, great blocking up front by UCLA. Another explosive run by TJ Harden right up the middle. Nice cut. Finds that little bitty crease. Offensive linemen do a nice job getting on the second level. TJ Harden does the rest for another explosive play in the run game.
And last week, UCLA averaged less than 2 yards per carry at Washington. Harden is averaging just over 10 per tote so far. And they'll come right back to him, trying to pick his way through the line of scrimmage. Not as much that time. He picks up a couple on first down.
I like how they're using their tight ends. They're bringing 2 tight ends in the game, 12 personnel, gives them a little bit bigger bodies up front. They can pull the tackles. They can pull the tight ends to give blocks on the edge and run vertical. Really good plan so far by UCLA using their big tight ends.
So Eric Bieniemy there, the offensive coordinator, first-year OC. You recognize him from the sidelines of the NFL, spending 11 in the NFL before coming back here to UCLA. 10 of those with the Chiefs. Last year with the Commanders. Telling us yesterday, I have to commit to running the ball early, and he stayed true. This time it's Garbers to pass. Short completion to his tight end, who's been getting better as the season's been getting longer. Moliki Matavao, his first catch is good for 5 yards.
Yeah, good job by Ethan Garbers here, getting the ball out quick. Very efficient when he's throwing these short to intermediate passes. Finds his big tight end, Moliki Matavao. Puts him in a third and manageable situation.
For all the good things you can say about the UCLA offense compared to last week, not third down. They're only 1 out of 4 right now. Now they need to get to the 39. Four-man rush. Garbers. Ball batted up in the air and picked off and dropped. Ball dropped by middle linebacker Mason Cobb. He had it initially, and they're ruling it incomplete. Mason Cobb.
On the field is an incomplete pass. Incomplete.
Yeah, Ethan Garber standing tall in the pocket here, trying to find his receiver. Ball gets tipped up. Mason Cobb almost secures that catch, comes down with it.
It's Kobe Pepe, the defensive lineman. Boy, Garber's got in there. Nice job. The quarterback getting the blow in there to make sure that that was incomplete, and that is the man who almost picked it off, Mason Cobb, the veteran linebacker down on the field. Back to Pasadena in a moment.
The rolling.
Here's what happened just before break. Ethan Garber's had a pass batted up in the air, and that is Mason Cobb appearing to have the interception, but the ball's ripped away by Logan Loya. It was ruled incomplete on the field. They took a long look at it upstairs, and they confirmed that call, incompletion. Our rules analyst, Reggie Smith, agreed that was the right call. So an almost interception from Mason Cobb. And by the way, good to see him up and smiling on the sideline there. He was the injured Trojan on the field just before we went to break. So after all that, UCLA will punt it away. Brody Richter to Zachariah Branch. Fair catch on the 16-yard line. At linebacker for UCLA, one of the best stories, not only in the Big Ten, but the entire nation. A couple of years ago, Carson Schlesinger was an unknown walk-on special teams player. Look at the numbers he's putting up. 109. That is best in the Big Ten. And when you look at solo tackles, he's best in the nation.
And what's even crazier about this is he didn't even start the season playing linebacker. It took 3 games before he found his role as a starting linebacker. It's amazing what he has done in all these tackles, but what he's brought to the table for this defense. He flies around. He's an incredible linebacker.
SC just took the lead 6-3 on their last possession. Mayav to Woody Marks. He wrapped up as he got to the 20-yard line. Makes it out a little bit past there. And what makes it even more impressive about Schlesinger, he's a bioengineering major. And we asked him yesterday, so what does that mean you're taking during the week? He's like, well, I have biomedical transducers, first of all. Follow that up with robo-electronics. And then he plays football. Mayava on second down, swings it out of the backfield. And a good tackle there at the 25 on Woody Marks. Has more catches than anyone on this USC team. Cornerback Kalen Moore makes the stop after a gain of 4.
We talked to the coaches, Deshaun Foster. You talked to Coach Malloy. I mean, they light up when they start talking about Carson Schlesinger. Just his attitude, his selfless approach to the game. He plays special teams. And what he's done in this short period of time playing linebacker is really an incredible story.
Yeah, he's thinking he might get a chance to stop the run here on 3rd and 1. Nope, it's a pass. Ball tipped and makes it out to the 30-yard line. A catch by Makai Lemon. Good concentration. First down and a pickup of 5.
And that's a really good read here by Jaden Mayava. He sees the corner coming off the edge. He does get his hand on the ball, but a good quick decision by Jaden Mayava, facing pressure, finds a way to get it to Makai Lemon for a first down.
Makai Lemon enjoying that big sophomore jump from his freshman season. 6 catches last year, now has 37. First and 10 for Mayava, right back to the air, well protected, has another completion. And a fight at the end here. Good effort to pick up some extra yards. First catch for Deuce Robinson gets him 14.
I think UCLA is going to have to figure out a way to get a little bit more pressure on Jaden Mayava. He goes through his first read, it's not open. He resets his feet and eyes, finds Deuce Robinson across the middle. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. Wouldn't be surprised if Carson Schlesinger, Kane Medrano, they start bringing a little bit more heat on Jaden Mayava.
Started out 2 out of 8. He's put it back together. He's now 9 for 17 for a $130. His tailback now is Joyner. Gives him a chance on the pitch. Patience. And he runs out of time there just across the 45-yard line as they continue to go back and forth from Marks to Joyner. That's a gain of 2 and a tackle from Medrano.
Yeah, we just mentioned Medrano. This is a good job tracking this. Toss to the outside. Finds a way to get Quinn Joyner on the ground.
So Maiava played plenty of football last year in the Mountain West Conference, was a starting quarterback at UNLV, took him to the conference title game for the very first time, and was named Conference Freshman of the Year. Play action, sets up. Again, good protection. Stepping back up, now out to the left. Will he keep it himself? Yes, he will, and get a first down. Theatrics in the backfield, and eventually a nice pickup.
This is the element that Jaden Maiava brings to the table. They're going to blitz KJ Wallace. Stonewall by this offensive line. Gives him time to go through his reads. He doesn't like it. Kind of Caleb Williams-esque right there in the pocket. Ball's in the left hand. Uses his legs to get a first down.
Colt, I go back to what Lincoln Riley told us on Wednesday. He said with a smile, got kind of a playmaking vibe to him. He's not Kyler in the pocket, but he's pretty good. 1st and 10 on the move again, and another completion. This time it's Zachariah Branch. They give him as many catch and run situations as they can. That one good for 7.
These are the type of quarterbacks that Lincoln Riley's had. He's always had a guy back there that can scramble around and make a play. He can call deep balls down the field. He has a big arm. He can also move, run pass options out in the flat, finding Zachariah Branch here for 7 or 8 yard gain. Just the added element that the defense has to cover and respect his legs. Drives defenses crazy.
And the end result, pretty good one for Lincoln Riley calling plays. He'll take 2nd and 2 every time. Up the middle, now out to the left. Woody Marks, wrapped up from the backside. It's a nice tackle by Kane Medrano to keep that to a gain of 4. It looked like Marks was going to be off to the races. The former wide receiver gets in from the backside. 2-minute timeout here at the Rose Bowl. Nothing but field goals, but a tight game, and the Trojans lead by 3. We're looking for our first touchdown here. Just inside of 2 minutes until halftime at the Rose Bowl. USC leading UCLA 6-3. 1 win away from bowl eligibility with Notre Dame coming to town next week. Ethan Garber's got out to a good start, but just has to sit and wait. See if and when he gets another chance here in this first half. Woody Marks hesitates, then goes up to the 30-yard line. And picks up 4 on first down, and he's been good out of the backfield. And Jaden Maiava, just like last week, Colt, in his very first start against Nebraska. Slow start then and slow start tonight. He was 2 out of 8 earlier. He's gone 8 of his last 10 and hasn't missed on this drive. Well protected. Another dart inside the 5. First down, Trojans. Big tight end Lake McCree, gain of 25.
Really good throw by Jaden Maiava. They're hustling to the ball quick, but he sees the corner blitz. UCLA has been bringing corners all night. Well, when you bring that, there's a void in the defense. Great job recognizing that by Jaden Maiava. Easy pitch and catch to Lake McCree up the middle.
Maiava has now hit 5 consecutive passes on this drive. First and goal. In the backfield, nothing for Marks. Power finish got him back to the 5-yard line, but the front for the Bruins was all over that one. Lincoln Riley told us this week when I asked him what's the best part of this UCLA team, he said, it's that defense.
It is. You see Jay Toia walking off the field, limping a little bit. That's not what you want to see if you're UCLA. He's the big man up front.
Boy, that would be a loss. He has been a force inside the second half of this season. 2nd and goal from the 5. Woody Marks still the tailback. 38 seconds and ticking until halftime. Maiava to the end zone. Incomplete. Kalen Moore had the coverage. Clock stops with 28 seconds left for 3rd and goal.
Yeah, nice play at the end there by Moore. Trying to hit Kyron Hudson on a fade route. Hasn't really worked tonight for USC. Jaden Maiava's thrown 2 or 3 of these. UCLA's DBs playing the ball well down here tight. We get in this low red zone area.
USC does have a timeout left if they'd like Marks or Maava to take a shot on the ground. Maava to throw to the end zone. Incomplete, a lot of contact, and no penalty. 4th and goal. Cal Ford, the former Bruin, was the intended receiver.
Here's another go ball down here in the low red zone.
Oh.
Jalen Davies might got his hand in there. Questionable if that was a pass interference call or not. But that's what you get from Jaden Maava. He sees his one-on-one and he takes shots. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. Great job by UCLA holding them to another field goal.
So after 5 consecutive completions, he misses his last 2. Michael Lance is 2 for 2 tonight from short range. This is from 22 yards out, and he is now 3 for 3. And those 3 field goals have the Trojans on top by 6. Been inside the red zone 3 times. All 3 have led to 3 points. Doesn't happen often, but, you know, they're in the Big Ten Conference for the first time. It's November. They're trying to get some Big Ten football weather.
That's right. You go out a little bit further east, it could turn into snow. But right now, a little wet.
Michael Lance 3 for 3 on field goals and sends this one to the back of the end zone. And so the Bruins down 9-3, only 21 seconds left from their own 25. They do have a couple of timeouts left. An experienced quarterback in Ethan Garbers. And they also have a place kicker who's made good from 57 yards out this year on this field, but there is rain coming down. See what direction they take here. UCLA led at one point, 3-0. Now trailing 9-3. Garbers in trouble. Lets that one go. And a catch. Well done out across the 40-yard line. J. Michael Sturdivant for 15.
That is a great throw by Ethan Garbers. He's got to move. He's rolling to his left. When you're a quarterback throwing this touch pass on the sideline, that is not easy. Really well done by Ethan Garbers and J. Michael Sturdivant by getting out of bounds and saving those 2 timeouts.
About 20 to 25 yards away. Again, you see the little mist coming down. We'll see how that affects their decision making on if they get into field goal range. Garbers against a 4-man rush. Steps up. Over the middle, incomplete. Clock stops again. 9 seconds left.
Yeah, you got 9 seconds left. 2 timeouts. If you can protect Ethan Garbers a little bit, give him a chance to throw a big dig across the middle. Everything's in play because you have the 2 timeouts and maybe get your field goal kicker a chance at a long field goal.
Big dig would be a down and in about 15 yards. They could also, with those 2 timeouts, get a running back out of the backfield, see if they get a catch and run. There's Mateen Bagani, 57-yarder against Iowa a couple weeks ago. Waits to see if he has a chance. Empty backfield quickly out of his hands. Harden. There's a little catch and run. Stops the clock. 4 seconds left. Can't kick a field goal from there, but they do pick up 10.
With 4 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be hard to run a play and still call timeout. It's a tricky situation here. Maybe a shot at the end zone, throw a Hail Mary. If you had 7 seconds, now you got a chance to run a play and call timeout. 4 seconds, that's just not enough time.
USC defense planning on that Hail Mary, Colt. Starting at the 30-yard line, they have 6 defensive backs. Now whistles blow here. They won't get this play off.
Timeout, USC, their 3rd and final charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
A lot of teams have these plays drawn up where they'll throw a little underneath route to a running back and throw it back to the quarterback, scramble around, get the lineman involved. Could see that play coming up here. Not sure in this rain and then these elements, Ethan Garbers can take a Hail Mary shot all the way to the end zone.
They've got the ball at the 50, so if he's backed up, let's say, 8 to 10 yards in this rain, can he get it down there 60 yards? As I mentioned, USC had 6 players committed
USC
to basically.
number 2 is now wearing 52. 2 becomes 52 for USC.
They basically have 6 players playing center field. To your point of maybe a catch and run on an in route of some kind and maybe a couple of pitches.
Yeah, a little hook and ladder, kind of get this thing going, see what happens.
A good wide shot there. See what USC is doing with a lot of deep players. Two safeties on the 5-yard line. Garbers, there's the over the middle shot. Inside the 30. And a cutback here. Gilmer goes down at the 21-yard line. Big gain, but not nearly enough. And that's how the first half comes to a close with a gain of 29. Ethan Garbers led UCLA to a 3-0 lead early. Back-to-back field goals for the Trojans have them on top. Late flag comes in here. Very late. Sam, the clocks have been at zeros for a while. Lincoln Riley clearly not happy. And we've got more extracurriculars on the 35-yard line. And their locker rooms are on opposite ends, thankfully, of this end zone they're running toward. So we don't have any touchdowns in the first half, but we've got fireworks at the end. They've separated both sides. Let's take a look how this started here with the final play. Quasi Gilmer made it down to the 21. And some talking afterward. J. Michael Sturdivant in there.
The push and shove there. A lot of emotions running high right now. Nobody scored a touchdown. Lincoln Riley gets involved.
Cooler heads have prevailed. The officials will sort this one out. No more players left on the field. Scoreboard says it's halftime, and USC leads its top rival 9-3 here at the yards. So they're backed all the way up to their own 5-yard line to kick up. Here's how it works. 15 yards from the 35 to the 20, and then half the distance to the goal on the other two. So you do the math, and look at this. They are kicking off from their own 5-yard line. USC will start with excellent field position here in this third quarter. Mateen Bagani has a 51-yard field goal, and the kickoff to start the second half. Makai Lemon from the 33. And he didn't quite make it back to midfield. Big hit to knock him back to the 47-yard line. So as for those 3 unsportsmanlike conduct calls against UCLA, this is how it happened here. So right after a good pass play, clocks are at zeros now. We're ready for halftime, but you see freshman wide receiver Quasi Gilmer touched one of the officials. Look at Lincoln Riley. He saw that and said, "Where's the flag?" And he eventually gets it. There is the first 15-yard penalty. Then a few seconds later, in the opposite end zone, safety Brian Addison, he gets a 15-yarder, and also an assistant coach for UCLA right there. Unidentified, but an assistant coach for the Bruins. He also got a 15-yard penalty. UCLA, most penalized team in the Big Ten. They have 6 penalties in that first half. USC 0. 1st and 10 for the Trojans on their own 48-yard line. Maiava again moving around the pocket. Saw this so much in the first half. And throws that one out of bounds to bring up 2nd down 10. Let's go to the sideline and check in with Lewis Johnson.
Yep, Paul, I called Deshaun Foster coming up the tunnel, and I asked him about the 3 unsportsmanlike conducts, and he was very matter-of-fact. He says, I don't want players to lose their edge. Don't lose your edge, but we've got to be smart. That'll be important in the second half. As for getting his offense going, he said it's pretty simple. We've got to find a way to stay on the field on 3rd down. Paul?
Lewis, thank you. Scoring points has been a big problem for UCLA this season. 8 of the 10 games, they haven't scored more than 20. Stuck on 3 right now. Maiava. This time protected underneath. Finds Hudson. Drags a defender out to the 45-yard line. Picks up 7 to bring up 3rd down and short.
And if you're USC, you kind of got a gift after all those penalties, right? You got a player down here on the field, but you get him to kick off from the 5-yard line. Now you got great field position. This is a big 3rd down coming out of the half for USC and Jaden Maiava.
KJ Wallace, veteran safety for the Bruins, is the one down. Involved in a number of plays in that first half. One of the main blitzers when they dial up the pressure.
Yeah, here's Jaden Maeva in the first half. Did a nice job moving around in the pocket, scrambling, making some plays. But when he had time, he threw a frozen rope across the middle for a big play. His ability to just stand tall and see over the pocket, zip it in tight windows. This is who he is. He's fearless. He throws back across his body. Sometimes you live and die by this. It's worked for him pretty decent in the first half. That's what he brings to the table. His ability to move outside the pocket, make plays, eyes downfield.
Lincoln Riley telling us this week he brings an element with his legs. We saw it behind the line of scrimmage a lot more than actually running it in the first half. 3rd down 3. To pass. Takes a shot down the far sideline. Incomplete, out of bounds. Cal Ford. Good defense there from Kalen Moore.
Jaden Maeva's got time in the pocket. He pushes one down the field. That's a great catch, but out of bounds there to Kyle Ford. One thing you've noticed in this game, Jaden Maeva takes his one-on-ones. If you give him one-on-ones, he takes it. He hadn't hit a bunch of them.
A 4th down and 3. They stay on the field now from the 46-yard line. Empty backfield for Maeva. Play clock down to 5. They got to get this off in a hurry.
Before the play clock ran out, timeout, USC, their first of the half.
That's a really good job by
30-second
UCLA.
timeout.
Knowing there's a substitution, they see the receiver come on the field from USC, then they sub their D lineman, runs the clock out, makes Lincoln Riley burn a timeout on this 4th down.
Well, they wanted to go fast. They weren't allowed to. They got stuck, didn't have time, so they called the timeout.
Yeah, anytime you sub, you got to give the other team a chance to sub too. Good job with the cat and mouse game there by UCLA. But for USC, 4th down, 4th and 3, I like giving Jaden Maeva the run pass option. You know, maybe a little play action, bootleg, selling the run, but the run is still there. He could call his own read, use his legs.
They had a critical situation last week at the Coliseum against Nebraska. Short yardage late in the game, and they had Maeva run an option, a play they probably would not have run with Miller Moss, and they haven't run that play yet tonight. 4th and 3. Maeva on the move, lets it go, incomplete.
I like the play call, moving Jaden Maeva, giving him a chance to get outside the pocket, make a throw here, puts it in a good spot, just can't quite come down with it. A big stop for UCLA's defense here coming out of the half.
Backed up their kickoff to start the second half to the 5-yard line, but the defense led by Ikaika Malloy, there he is, defensive coordinator for the Bruins, didn't give up any points. Job well done on his side of the ball. Ethan Garber's hands off to start out the second half. 3-yard gain, and TJ Harden had a heck of a first half.
Yes, he really did. He ran the ball well, but going back to that 4th down stop, this could be a big momentum change in this game. You know, they get a great stop by UCLA's defense and Coach Malloy. You could punt the ball, right? They burned a timeout on 4th down, didn't get it. Could have pinned him back. UCLA hasn't done a whole lot on offense, make him go the long way. Now they get the ball at midfield.
UCLA averaging 85 yards per game, rushing last in the Big Ten, already past that mark as we start the second half. Garbers lets it go down the far sideline. Brought in. J. Michael Sturdivant, what a catch. And the Bruins in business after picking up 27.
What a catch here by J. Michael Sturdivant. He's one of their best players, their go-to guy in these down-the-field situations. Moves his body. Good job by Ethan Garber, just throwing it up there, giving his big target a chance. He goes up over the DB and makes a nice catch and big play for UCLA.
In that shot, we saw the excellent catch. You also saw the mist has turned into a light rain here at the Rose Bowl. It's been off and on all night. TJ Harden, nothing going up the middle. They do stay committed to that run game. Cameron Fountain, true freshman defensive end, keeps that to no gain.
We hadn't really called Cameron Fountain's name a whole lot, but when you talk to Coach Lynn, he really likes this freshman. He says he's got good pass rush moves on the edge. He's big, he's strong. You see him crash the line of scrimmage there and get a tackle for loss. Good play by the freshman.
Dan Lynn telling us that Fountain, you got to live with the freshman mistakes, but he makes a lot of plays too. From Mobile, Alabama, all the way to LA. Right up the middle again to the 20-yard line. Back-to-back short ground gains there for Harden as he approaches 100 yards tonight. That one gets 3. And now third down has been a problem for Eric Bieniemy, Ethan Garbers, and the Bruins. They converted 1 out of 5 times in the first half.
I'd go back to J. Michael Sturdivant here. He made a big play down the field. He's missed a few games. He's back. It's a big matchup problem for the USC defense. And I imagine USC is going to come after him. They've been blitzing hard on these third downs.
Sturdivant is the wide receiver, split out all the way wide right to Garbers. Third down 7. Here comes the blitz from the outside. Garbers steps up, keeps it, cuts back, and he's close, and he's got it. Gavin Meyer tracked him down, but an 8-yard gain from Garbers moves the chains.
You're right. Great job here by Ethan Garbers. Doesn't like what he sees. 2 hands on the football, moving up in the pocket, little pump fake.
Garbers
finds a way to get the first down.
Grew up in Newport Beach in Orange County. Said he didn't pick a side in this rivalry till high school, but then he went hard. He says, I'm all in. Wouldn't mention USC by name. And the whistles blow here before the start of this 1st and 10. Referee tonight, Mark Kluzinski, taking his time here on this one.
The ruling on the previous play was the runner made the line to gain. The play is under further review.
Okay, I thought that might have been it as he went over there. Ruled a first down. They're going to take a look to see if Garbers actually did pick it up. We bring in our rules analyst, Reggie Smith, as we all take a look at this previous play. Keep in mind, Reggie, it was called a first down on the field.
Absolutely, Paul. The ruling on the field was a first down, so what we're going to need to see is indisputable evidence that says that he is down short of the line to gain. While his left knee is down here, we can see the ball was extended to what appears to be the line to gain. Minimally, this call should stand as a first down as ruled on the field.
So knee down right there. Yeah, Reggie, I'm right there with you. It looks like that ball is well across. Yellow line unofficial, but here's the best look yet.
I don't know if his left knee really touched the ground. It might. It was hard to tell. But I think regardless, the ball was across the line to gain. I'm with you, Reggie. I think this call stands. Yeah, right there. Ball's right close at the line of scrimmage.
A compilation is wishful thinking.
The first time we've seen Ethan Garbers tuck it and keep it on a big down like that. I'd mentioned they'd only converted 1 time in the first half on third down. Would be a huge pickup there. And here comes the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Eric Bieniemy back to the play chart. See what he dials up here now with 1st down and 10. UCLA took the ball down right away the first time they had it tonight. Didn't score a touchdown, as you can see, but their field goal came early. And they haven't had much success since. Garbers threw 3 touchdown passes against USC last year in a Bruin win. He would love his first here on this drive. To the air. Flips it out of the backfield. Good move inside the 10. Mokiao Atimalala picks up 4. Brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, I really think if you're a UCLA right here, it's probably 4-down territory. You're down 9-3. You don't want to continue making this a field goal type of game. So you've got a big playbook here. You can run the football. Maybe target your big tight end, Maliki Mataval. We haven't called his name a lot, but he's a big target down in the red zone. J. Michael Sturdivant, they're their playmakers.
And Mataval had 7 catches last week, only 1 so far tonight. 2nd down 8. Garber's back foot. There he is, and there he goes. Touchdown, Bruins.
USC has struggled stopping screens. Great call by Eric Bieniemy. Here's Maliki Mataval. We just talked about him. Going to throw a little tight end screen off the play action. He gets 2 lead blockers in front of him. Dives into the end zone. Really good response here by UCLA coming out of the half. Stopping them on 4th down. Getting the ball back at midfield. Moving down and scoring a touchdown.
Points up and in. The brief tie is broken, and the Bruins are back on top. Colt McCoy, nice job of calling out the tight end, Maliki Mataval. Eric Bieniemy had the same thing on his mind. Tight end screen leads to the first touchdown of the night, and UCLA is on top by 1. At his best, 5 straight completions, 80 yards, and a touchdown pass. Also ran on 3rd down and 8. Got 8.5. He was excellent on that drive, and UCLA now leads 10-9. Mateen Bagani kicks it off. McCann-Lemon from 1.5 yards deep. Little seam on the right side. Knocked out of bounds just as he crossed the 30-yard line. Let's go downstairs and check in with Lewis.
Hey, Paul, Bruin tight end Maliki Mataval told me that offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy has helped him in so many ways. And what better way than to sit down together and watch tape of Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Some weeks they're sitting down together watching that film for a couple of hours, learning how to get into those open spaces and doing that at the right time. And, Paul, I think we just saw that on the 10-yard touchdown catch.
Yeah, he knows him awfully well. Bieniemy was with the Chiefs on that staff for a decade. The whole time with Kelce. Now the Trojans see if they can come from behind here. Maiava marks, dashing through the middle there between the tackles. And he gets 5 yards. Something he didn't get to do a whole lot at Mississippi State. And he is really proving that he is the kind of back that can go between the tackles for yards game after game.
And you feel like a lot of times he's just one missed tackle away from an explosive play every time he touches the ball.
Coming off back-to-back 100-yard games. Maiava finds him out of the backfield. The top pass catcher for USC gets a 1st down there. So he gets 5 on the run and then 7 on the pass.
And that's a big 1st down for USC, for Jaden Maiava. They're down 1. Kind of the momentum has kind of shifted here. But when Coach Lincoln Riley talks about the switch and moving to Jaden Maiava, he says this guy's poised. He never gets too high or gets too low. He's built for situations like this. Well, good job getting the 1st down, kind of calming everybody down.
I told us during the week, Colt, he dealt with his nerves in that first start last week awfully well. That's when you have Woody Marks, and again, he finds a little success there right up the middle. And a good finish to pick up a couple extra. That's a 7-yard gain. So Woody Marks, you talk about scrimmage yards in the Big Ten. Caleb Johnson, who had a terrific day again today at Maryland in a win for Iowa. That's the only one he trails. He had a $182 yards from scrimmage last week against Nebraska, and he's just picking up steam tonight. Good example in the last couple of plays, finding success, running the ball, and catching it out of the backfield. Early movement there. No flag. Maiava hit in the backfield, ball comes out. And a sprung forward on the 46-yard line. Looks like the Trojans got right back on it. He was winding up to let that one go down the far sideline. Recovered by his tight end, Walker Lyons.
Yeah, he may have had his shot down the field to Deuce Robinson, but Devin Apu here on the edge just gets the ball out. Jaden Mayava can't see him, and USC's very fortunate they jumped on top of this football.
Boy, golden opportunity right there. And a good job by Lyons. UCLA's first sack and their 4th tackle for loss. Brings up 3rd down. Need to get to the 47. Under pressure over the middle. Contact. No flag. KJ Wallace, tight coverage on Mekhi Lemon to force the incompletion.
Yeah, if you're UCLA, this is what their bread and butter is. Watch them move around in the front. They're moving Jay Toia on the outside. Caden Medrano gets a free rush around the edge. Jaden Mayava has to speed his feet up. That's what you do to a young quarterback. Doesn't have a lot of snaps under his belt playing at USC. Confuse him, make him get the ball out quick. They might have got away with a little pass interference there down the field. But regardless, a big stop for UCLA.
A lot of contact there, no call. Chapleski, number 2 punter in the nation, goes end over end. See if he can stick him down inside the 10 down, just inside the 9-yard line. Logan Loya. In this game tonight, they're playing for the Victory Bell. Went to UCLA last year. So nice to look down and see both teams in their home jerseys. Ethan Garber's quickly out of his hands. To the 10, little hesitation, and then out to the 17-yard line goes Quasi Gilmer. He picks up 8, but from 1982 to 2008, if you watch this game, you knew that the away team had to wear the white jerseys. Well, it came back after that, where both teams created the gorgeous scene of the Cardinal red for USC and the UCLA blue every time these two teams get together. There is a story that goes with that. In a moment, we'll go down to Lewis Johnson to see how it changed back to going red against blue every time these two teams get together. 2nd down 3. Up the middle and picking his way out for a 1st down. Goes hard in the ground game, continues to click, and we check in now with Lewis.
Yeah, Paul, I spoke to Rick Neuheisel and Pete Carroll yesterday about the effort to get things back in order here in 2008. Neuheisel said he and Carroll spoke by phone, and Rick said, hey, let's get home and home going again. Pete Carroll told me that growing up in the Bay Area, he remembered as a high school football player, seeing the home and home jerseys and always thought it was very cool. And he agreed with Neuheisel as the USC head coach back in 08 that it was time to get it back. And they both sacrificed the timeout, restarting the home and home traditions again.
Lewis, thank you, and we thank Coach Neuheisel and also Coach Carroll for getting that done. Ethan Garber's in trouble, and he won't escape. Inside the 20-yard line, he has avoided sacks pretty well tonight, but that's a loss of 3. Braylon Shelby got in.
Yeah, they haven't really got to Ethan Garber's all night. He's done a great job escaping the pocket, moving up in the pocket. This time he just can't get away. USC's defense gets him in the backfield for a sack. And this is a big drive for USC's defense. If there's ever a time for a turnover, now is it. The momentum's a little bit shifted towards UCLA. Some of these players, Mason Cobb, Easton Mascarenas, Arnold, got to show up.
First sack he's taken tonight, avoids. This time he could run. He sees the same thing. Out of bounds, didn't get the 1st down, but did escape the trouble on the exit to the left. 2nd time he's gone a little over 8 yards with his feet tonight.
Yeah, and here's the left tackle here on the edge. Played really good so far tonight. Just gets beat inside. It gives Ethan Garber a chance to make a play with his feet. He's got to do it quick. Here's another 3rd down situation. I'd be shocked if USC doesn't bring a lot of pressure on Ethan Garber's in this offensive line.
Last 3rd down he picked up on the previous drive. He did it with a run. He has hit his last 6 passes. Here comes a blitz, backing up. Sets up the screen. Well set up screen. 1st down Bruins. TJ Harden out to midfield. Kamari Ramsey, the former Bruin, with the stop. Gain of 23.
2 great screen calls by Eric Bieniemy. One in the red zone for a touchdown. He knows his offensive line can't hold up all night. Knew they were going to come after him. Ethan Garber's retreats. Finds TJ Harden on the screen for another explosive play. TJ Harden is having him a night.
15 touches for over 130 yards. A factor On the ground and through the air for Eric Bieniemy. He's out for a spell. Keegan Jones is the tailback on 1st and 10. Fake it to him. Nice pocket. Lets it go. Sturdivant. Diving catch. He got it. What a grab from J. Michael Sturdivant for 46 yards.
What a catch, but this all goes back to the offensive line. Fake the play action, gives Ethan Garber some time. He lays it up nicely, and what an all-out catch by J. Michael Sturdivant. Lays out for it, secures the catch. That is a thing of beauty right there if you're UCLA. Ethan Garber's playing with a lot of confidence right now, back in the red zone.
Second big-time catch in the 3rd quarter for Sturdivant. Penalty just before the snap, 3 of them.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Offense number 67, 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
7th penalty of the night, 1 more to their average, and that is the man making his first start at left tackle, Yutaka Mahe.
Yeah, let's look at this catch one more time. Watch him track this football, lays out completely, secures the catch when he hits the ground. I mean, he had to track that ball for 50 yards in the air. He is a playmaker.
3 catches, 89 yards. Garber's working on 8 consecutive completions. Could it be 9? Tries to spin out of trouble, won't happen. Sacked in the backfield on the 17-yard line, loss of 6. Nate Clifton comes up with a sack for USC.
This is hard for UCLA. You had the ball inside the 10 off a big play to J. Michael Sturdivant. Then Yutaka Mahe jumps off sides. Then you take a sack. Now all of a sudden you're 2nd and long. Not ideal for UCLA.
Garber's calling the play in the huddle. He told us yesterday in Chip Kelly's offense he had 4 word calls. Now has 15 word calls. Practice in the spring by looking at himself in the mirror. This time he hands off up the middle. Not much there. Picks up 2. Yeah, he'd go home from spring practice, get the call, and said he wanted to hear himself with these new lengthy calls, see what he looked like, what his teammates would see what he sounded like. And now he faces 3rd down.
Yeah, if you're Eric Bieniemy, you're talking to Ethan Garber, you're saying, hey, buddy, we got a field goal in our back pocket. That's huge, okay? You get a shot in the end zone, take it, but take care of this football. Need points on this drive.
Saw those 2 running backs, Sean Foster, Eric Bieniemy, over 7,000 rushing yards in college. See what they dial up on 3rd down. Garbers, another screen inside the 15, and not much more for Harding. Got down to the 11, 4-yard gain. Colt, as you brought up, you got the field goal attempt in your pocket. And here comes the field goal team for the Bruins.
You really don't have a whole lot, knowing that you can't hold up in protection. Screen's a very conservative call, a safe call, low risk of turning the ball over. Maybe you hit it for a big play like you have twice already. Good stop by USC.
Mateen Bagani from 29 yards out. Hasn't missed from inside of 40 yards this year. Whistle blows.
The previous play is under review for a potential targeting.
Boy, that would change the feel here. Would give him a 1st down. Garbers will be back on the field. Let's take a look here. Bring in our rules analyst, Reggie Smith. So, Reggie, you heard the news as well. We take a look. What do you see?
We're taking a look at defender number 13. And the first thing that we want to make sure we're doing is this has to be a crown of the helmet review because the ball carrier is not defenseless. Here we see number 13 lower his head, but then he turns his head a little bit to the side. The question that they're going to have to determine in replay is, does he attack with forcible contact with the crown of the helmet?
So, Reggie, you bring up the proper question and what they're looking at. Mason Cobb is the linebacker. That's the 2nd leading tackler on this USC defense, so he is a major player on that side. I ask you that question. Do you think it's targeting?
Well, I think he lowers his head, so there is the indicator when he lowers his head. Now, what I don't see is a forceful. I don't believe this is enough for targeting.
Foul for targeting. Fourth down.
Okay, as Reggie was saying, he saw the same thing. No call for targeting. Mason Cobb stays in the game. Not a first down for UCLA. So it's back to the field goal attempt from Mateen Begani. 1 for 1 tonight. That came from 51 yards out. And this will be from 29. And again, he's not missed inside of 40 yards this season. And he hasn't missed tonight either. Right down the middle. 4 seconds left in this third quarter, and now a 4-point lead for Deshaun Foster and UCLA. Begani right down the middle. Deshaun Foster says, I like this second half. Touchdown drive for the Bruins and a field goal drive. A lot of football left here at the Rose Bowl. Ethan Garbers, he's had an excellent third quarter, takes a seat. Jaden Mayava, we'll see what he has now. In this fourth quarter, likely won't get a chance to do much here with only 4 seconds left here in quarter number 3. Trojans yet to score here in this third quarter. Makai Lemon from the 4. All the way to the near side, shows some speed. He's got a little something. Nice return, Makai Lemon, and a late penalty marker.
Makai Lemon took a shot when he ran out of bounds from somebody on the sideline at from UCLA.
And this will likely be their 8th penalty of the night. Trojans still don't have a single penalty against them.
Makai Lemon steps out of bounds.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Kicking team number 29, 15-yard penalty, first down. That's the end of the third quarter.
Shove there at the end.
Third quarter was a strong one for UCLA playing at home. They beat USC last year at the Coliseum. In the third quarter, they pick up a touchdown and a field goal. They head to the fourth on 6, and in that third quarter, the Trojans only picked up 22 yards. Safety blitz coming, and it got there. It dropped marks in the backfield. KJ Wallace came from about 10 yards deep to produce that loss of 1.
And a perfectly timed blitz by KJ Wallace.
Got a player down, I believe. Yes, it is. That is Woody Marks. Second in the Big Ten in yards from scrimmage. An emerging star in the backfield. And he had that carry there on the loss of 1. Take a look at that play. The blitzing safety is KJ Wallace that gets there. USC lead running back Woody Marks remains on the field. We'll take a break in Pasadena. The fourth quarter is just underway. UCLA leads. Woody Marks is the lead running back for USC. He was the injured Trojan just before the break. You see him standing there on the sideline. Moments ago, he was sprinting up and down. So hopefully that's a good sign that he'll be back in the game soon. Right now, 79 total yards for the senior. Quentin Joyner takes his place on 2nd down 11. Mayava gives it to Joyner. Well set up screen. And he makes it out to the 30-yard line. Little extra push there at the end. And that will be enough for a first down. It's a good start after a stagnant third quarter for that USC offense. That gets them 11. And we got a late flag in. On the sideline right where Joyner went down.
USC may pick up their first penalty of the night here. A little extracurricular activity going on.
The result of the play was a first down for USC. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike, USC number 76, 15-yard penalty. It will be 1st and 10. That's number 76's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
Mason Murphy, the junior right tackle. Cost him 15 after that first down.
Well, now you know the emotions run high in this game. You saw before the half, UCLA gets all these penalties, out of character. Right here, Mason Murphy picks up an extracurricular foul. Lots of jawing. This game means a lot to these guys, but cooler heads have to prevail. You got to be able to contain your emotions, especially after a big first down play like that.
Almost drew him off. Out of the backfield, Joyner again. Tracked down from the backside before he can turn it into a big gain, but a nice one there on first down. Picks up 8 to bring up 2nd down 2.
It's a good job by UCLA. They're clearly keeping everything in front. They don't want to get beat over the top, sitting in these 2 high safety looks. Here comes Woody Marks back in the game, but look, think about Lincoln Riley. Moved Jaden Mayava to start quarterback. They hadn't really run a lot of zone reads. He hasn't got his legs going too much. They got to figure out a way to get the ball in their playmakers' hands here. Zachariah Branch on a catch and run. Deuce Robinson.
Nice for Mayava to have Woody Marks back in the game. Fakes to him, quickly out of his hands. Well done, but a good tackle there. Just enough for a first down. Kalen Moore was all over it right after Hudson hauled that one in, but first down USC.
Yeah, this is Kyron Hudson running a little hitch route on the outside, gives Jaden Mayava the chance to pull it and make a quick decision for a first down, making up that lost yardage from the personal foul.
Mayava, 3rd consecutive pass, knocked down right when it came out of his hands. Tried to set up the screen there. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, good defense here up front. This time it's Devin Apu again, who's called his name a couple times, gets his hands up. A lot of quick game, a lot of trying to get the ball out early by Jaden Mayava. This offensive line has done a great job all year long in pass protection. UCLA is finding a way to whip them up front and be able to contain everything in front, playing this soft zone coverage on the back end.
Both quarterbacks have 16 completions. Garber 16 out of 21. Mayava 16 out of 31. Gives to Marks, looking for some room, didn't find much. Oladejo, playmaker at end. We haven't called his name a whole lot tonight. Keeps that to a gain of 1 to bring up 3rd down.
The one thing I love when you watch Femi Oladejo is his effort plays. Here he is on the edge right here. Watch him just play contain and then just wreck the defense, wreck the double team. He never gives up on plays. He plays the edge like he does Mike linebacker early in the season. He goes full speed all the time. What a great play there by Femi Oladejo.
USC has failed to convert on each of the last 3 3rd downs. 3rd and 9. Mayava spinning, in trouble. Down he goes! Femi Oladejo.
There he is again. He never gives up on a play. Think about moving from Mike linebacker to the edge. He's down here on the edge. Watch him work around on the outside. Oh, here he is in the middle. He just never gives up. Beats the guard, almost falls down. Jaden Mayava just can't find a way to get around him. Full speed all the time. You talk to Coach Malloy. He said, this guy is so unselfish. Think about it. He's a senior. He played Mike linebacker, moving to the edge. What he's done for this defense, selfless. Love seeing him coming out here making plays like that.
Has been a menace here recently. Punt is away, and it'll bounce on the 5. So perfectly done by Eddie Czaplicki. Dropped it on the 1-yard line. Good news is your defense came through. Bad news, your offense has 99 yards to go. The move from defensive coordinator at UCLA last year to defensive coordinator at USC this season. His Trojan defense, Colt, right where they want to be with the Bruins facing 1st and 10 on their own 1-yard line.
The USC's offense hadn't been able to do much. It's a chance for USC's defense to turn this game around.
TJ Harden has 95 yards rushing. They go to the air, though. Sturdivant. Oh, my goodness, what a catch. He's on fire in the second half. That one gets 26.
I mean, taking go balls, taking shots when you're backed up in your own end zone. Great idea if you're throwing to J. Michael Sturdivant. Here's another one down the field. Tracks this ball, catches it over his shoulder. Jacoby Covington is in good position, but J. Michael Sturdivant is having himself a day. Good throw by Ethan Garbers, and great job getting off that backed up situation in your own goal line.
One catch against USC last year. He has 4 for a $114 right now. Quick hitter to the right side. Gilmer, the freshman. Not much there. 3-yard gain.
Let's check this route real quick here. He got one-on-one on the outside. If you give Ethan Garbers enough time to take 3 in a hitch and just put this ball up anywhere in the area of J. Michael Sturdivant, he's shown that he'll come down with this football. A big-time throw and catch for Ethan Garbers.
Couldn't wait to get to this night. He was quiet last week in the loss to Washington Friday night. Only had 1 catch. Doesn't sit well with someone over 1,500 career receiving yards. Second down 8. Garbers, far side, completion. And a couple of good defenders there to wrap him up. Sturdivant, another catch, but that one only got him 3.
You got to give kudos to this offensive line at UCLA. We talked a bunch early in this game that all kind of played a bunch of different positions all year. Revolving door up there at left tackle. They're giving Ethan Garbers some time to make throws. Backed up. Here's another one right there. It's a clean pocket. It's just a hitch. He gets the ball out quick. And
we just saw Eric Bieniemy. How aggressive does he want to be now on 3rd and 5? Garbers to pass. Steps up. He won't pass. Sacked. Trojan defense comes up big. Loss of 8. Top tackler, the linebacker, Easton Mascarenas-Arnold.
You know, watch Easton Mascarenas-Arnold right here. He's going to be one-on-one with TJ Harden right here in the hole. And this is just a matchup that in protection, you got to win. Easton Mascarenas-Arnold gets to the quarterback on 3rd down. So they didn't stop him backed up. They didn't give up too much. Holds him to a 4th down here.
SC could use a big return here from last year's All-American returner, Zachariah Branch. Stands on his own 35-yard line. Brody Richter gets the punt away. Not a good punt at all. Shanked it to the right. Well, he struggled last week, had a couple of those in Seattle. That's his first bad one tonight. UCLA up by 4. Lincoln Riley's offense has really struggled in this second half. You see the first half, they moved it well. They just couldn't score in the red zone. Now they're having a tough time moving the ball at all. They led 9-3 at halftime. UCLA is the only team that scored here in the second half. Jaden Iowa hands off. Woody Marks patience and a cut. He makes it out across the 45-yard line. He was injured for a moment here in the second half. Picks up 5 right there. Madrano with the stop. And they need to find a way to get Maeva going, Colt. In this half, he's only 5 out of 10 for just 37 yards.
Yeah, he struggled a bit. I'd like to see him get his receivers involved. Zachariah Branch, we haven't called Deuce Robinson's name much. Woody Marks is doing a nice job running the football for him. But at some point,
quickly down the line. Lemon, he wants to throw. Lets it go. Hudson has it. Lemon to Hudson. 1st and goal, USC.
All right, we said we wanted a big play. I see you, Makai Lemon. Gonna throw a little screen out here and find Kyron Hudson down the sideline for an explosive play. Jaden Maeva hasn't really created that with his arm tonight. Let's call a little trick play. Get this offense a kickstart.
Now remember, in the first half, Colt, USC had 12 plays inside the 10-yard line, didn't score a touchdown. Now they have first and goal once again. Maava, plenty of time, in trouble, evades. Maava, end zone, touchdown, Jacoby Lane.
What a throw and catch right here from Jaden Maava to Jacoby Lane. Does he have possession? 1 foot in bounds. Yes, he does. Goes back to that trick play, gets him a big play than Jaden Maava. You talk about a playmaker, scrambling around, extending the play, keeping his eyes downfield. Big turn in this game. Wanted to see that out of Jaden Maava. Hey, man, go make a play. That's why we have you out here. There it is.
Confirmed touchdown. Maava first half inside the 10 was 0 for 6. Just came up with the biggest play of the night. Extra point. USC up 16-13.
Go back and look at this touchdown here. They're going to run a little play action to Woody Marks. He's got good time. Offensive line does a great job. And then as it closes in, the time clock goes off in his head. Jaden Maava does what he does. He scrambles around. He throws that ball in a tight window where only Jacoby Lane can catch it. Gets 1 foot in bounds and turns this whole football game around.
Watching him run around in that pocket, I just go back to Lincoln Riley in our conversation with him, and with a smile he said, you know, he's got that playmaking vibe to him. He can do more with his legs. But those comments just came to life on the play that put USC back on top.
Here's the route by Jacoby Lane. Just never gives up. Quarterback scrambles around, doesn't get pushed out of bounds. Raises his hand, say, give me a chance, give me a chance. Jaden Maava finds him in the back corner.
He'll take a rest inside of 7 minutes. Trojans back on top by 3. And UCLA will start from the 25-yard line. So USC once again, Colt, finds themselves in a one-possession game. That has been such a struggle for them. They have 5 losses coming into tonight. In each one of those 5 losses, they've held a lead in the 4th quarter.
They sure have. We'll see if they can hold this lead tonight. One thing I'd be aware of if you're USC's defense, what has been the problem tonight? Well, they've been hit on screens. 1 for a touchdown, 1 for a big 3rd down conversion. They can't protect Ethan Garbers all night, so stay alert for another screen.
Garber starts this drive with 12 consecutive completions. Right up the middle. Not a lot there. They pick up a couple on 1st down. Gavin Meyer there. Keep in mind, each one of these teams not only playing for bragging rights, bowl eligibility on the line as well. USC with 5 wins. They need to win either tonight or next week against Notre Dame to get that 6th win. UCLA, they only have 4 wins. They have to win tonight and then next weekend against Fresno State to qualify for a bowl. Second down 8. Quickly out of his hands. 13 consecutive completions. This one to Mokiao Atimalala. Not enough for a first, but they get a lot closer. Pick up a 5. Eric Bieniemy calling the plays for the Bruin offense. Danton Lynn coordinating the Trojan D.
Playbook's wide open when you stay in these 3rd and manageable situations here. A lot you can do. Ethan Garbers can run. He scrambled for a couple 1st downs. You can still run the football here.
If they run, Keegan Jones is the tailback. Up the middle to Jones. And he's going to be right there. Mascarenas Arnold with the stop. It looks to be a little bit short, about a foot short.
Big decision here for Deshaun Foster, Eric Bieniemy.
Offense is on the field. They're on their own 34-yard line. They've got all 3 timeouts left.
Huge decision. In this situation, you got to have one play call in your call sheet that says, I know we're going to get the first down here on 4th and 1.
Garber's quarterback sneak. He stood up right away. I don't think he got there. Neither does USC. They hold. Garber's on the sneak. Right away he got drilled. Courageous call, does not pay off. USC will have the ball and the lead when we come back.
USC's defensive line here. You know, if you're UCLA, I like and respect the fact that you're going to go for it, but calling a quarterback sneak in this situation is tough. The interior part of your offensive line loses the leverage battle. USC gets lower. He had no chance from the beginning. I like moving Ethan Garbers, giving him a run-pass option, maybe throwing a play action down the field, something in that situation other than a quarterback sneak.
Trojans take over with the lead and on UCLA's 34-yard line. Woody Marks spins out of a tackle and makes it to the 30. 4 yards as he approaches 100 yards from scrimmage here tonight. Inside of 5 minutes, nice to have him on the Trojan side. Meanwhile, Deshaun Foster needs to find a way to get this ball back.
Yeah, if you're UCLA, I would bring pressure here. They've dominated for most of the night in the run game. They got to figure out a way to get Jaden Mayava down and not let him use his legs and scramble around and make another play.
Yeah, just did that to score a touchdown moments ago on their last drive. Quickly out of his hands, Zachariah Branch cutting, sprinting, and makes it to the 23. Penalty marker came down just as he got tackled, and it would be a gain of 7. Oladejo with the tackle.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Left tackle Elijah Page.
Here comes Elijah Page out of the corner of your screen. Pushes Carson Swessinger right in the back. That's a good call right in front of the referee. Negates a first down. Little quick screen to Zachariah Branch.
Big penalty backs him up to the 35-yard line after that nice gain, the completion to Branch. We're set to hit the 4-minute mark here. USC led by Lincoln Riley on top of UCLA by 3.
UCLA's got all 3 of their timeouts. USC's going to do their best to continue to run this clock. Might have to start calling timeouts if you're Deshaun Foster.
Play clock was down to 1. Marks bursting up the middle. Well, he doesn't wait to go. Got inside the 30, picked up 6. Nice block from the tight end, Cade Eldridge.
And unless Jaden Mayava has a sure completion, like a wide receiver screen or a screen to the tight end or to Woody Marks, you don't want this ball to be incomplete. You want to keep running this clock and make UCLA think about using their timeouts.
They failed on their last 4 conversion attempts. This is 3rd down 5. Mayava looking left, firing to the sideline. A bullet for the first down. Fastball picks up 11 to Kyron Hudson.
That's a big throw by Jaden Mayava. We haven't really seen that in the second half from the far hash. That ball is spinning. Look at the revolutions on that football. Finds Kyron Hudson on the sideline. That's a lot of trust from Lincoln Riley to say, hey, it's 3rd and 6. We want to bleed this clock out. But if you have this wide field out route, sling it out there. Second job by Jaden Mayava.
In his second start, trusting him with the throw from the hash to the sideline. First down 10, Woody Marks. Not a lot there up the middle. Tried to cut it out to the right, got 2. Only 2:19 left, so yeah, UCLA going to start using those timeouts. They'll have a couple left.
Timeout, UCLA.
And they'll pick up the 2-minute timeout, so really they still get 3 clock stops.
Please adjust the game clock to 2:21.
So if they aren't able to continue to stop them on the ground here and force a field goal, USC's Michael Lance 3 for 3 tonight. Good from 19, 23, and 22, but obviously they want to run clock. Cole, they would love that touchdown to make it a 2-score lead.
Yeah, they would. And for Lincoln Riley in this offense, you know, the guard, the tackle pulls, the run scheme, they've gone back to that well over and over and over. I expect a lot of that, and just like last week, they can build off of that. They can throw quick screens, they can run zone read, they can run that little option we talked about. All these things to keep the clock running and finish the game with the football in your hands.
Just saw the defensive coordinator for the Bruins, Ikaika Malloy. His side has given up just 1 touchdown tonight, but they surrendered 3 field goals in the first half. Touchdown pass on the last drive from Jaden Maiava. Now they face 2nd down 8. Play clock to 2. Woody Marks has 73 yards rushing tonight, wrapped up just as he got to the line of scrimmage, gains 3.
Timeout, UCLA, their 2nd of the half, 30-second timeout.
I like using the timeout there by Deshaun Foster. Still have 1 timeout left, still have the 2-minute timeout. For UCLA, if you hold them to a field goal here, it's still a 1-score game. Saving as much time on the clock as you possibly can for Ethan Garbers and the offense. Critical here, and then a 3rd down for USC. It's a manageable situation.
Would you let Maiava throw the ball here?
I would. He just ripped a out route to the field, right? That's why Jaden Maiava's in this position. He can throw the football. He's got a big arm. He can also run the football.
Lincoln Riley saying we can run some things schematically that we didn't with the other guy. Ethan Garbers, Los Angeles native, waits to see what his next chance will look like. And hoping hard for his defense to come up with a stop here. 3rd down and 5.
UCLA showing a lot of pressure here.
Play clock down to 2, 1. Just got it off. He will throw to the end zone. One-handed attempt. No catch. Jacoby Lane could not bring it in. Clock stops. 4th down.
They've thrown this fade ball down here in the red zone all night tonight with 0 success. Nobody's been able to come down with it. Almost a nice one-handed catch there by Jacoby Lane. But when you take a risk like this, you got to hit it, because now the clock stops, hold them to a field goal, and you're going to give UCLA the ball with the 2-minute timeout and a timeout in their back pocket.
Michael Lance has been very good tonight. He's 3 for 3 from 19, 23, and 22. This is his longest attempt from 30 yards out. His perfect night continues, and USC's lead grows to 19-13. NBC and Peacock are serving a double helping of Big Ten football. It's coming up next weekend. First, Nebraska and Iowa on Black Friday, then Washington and Oregon on Big Ten Saturday night. It's all on NBC and Peacock. Be a lot of fun next Friday and next Saturday in Iowa City and Seattle. Here in Pasadena, thinking of fun, how perfect is this? 3 hours ago, we talked about all we were looking forward to with these jerseys on this field, doing it for the 94th time. And the Bruins, Ethan Garbers, Eric Bieniemy, down 6. What more could you ask for?
Exactly right. That's a good stop by UCLA, but that's also a big kick by Michael Lance, because now UCLA has to march all the way down the field and score a touchdown. They could have marched down the field when it was a 3-score game, tied it up. Now they got to go the length of the field.
See what Ethan Garbers has done in that second half. He's been perfect, hasn't missed.
And if you're a quarterback, what a great situation to be in. You're in the Rose Bowl at home in the rivalry game. You got a timeout in your back pocket, 2 minutes left to go down and win it.
And he'll begin from the 25-yard line, the biggest drive of his life. And he has loved J. Michael Sturdivant in the second half.
Yeah, if you're Ethan Garbers, find number 7. J. Michael Sturdivant has won all his one-on-one matchups down the field, making some acrobatic catches. Throw it up to him. If he's single covered, throw it. If he's double covered, give him a chance. You got nothing else to lose. He's your playmaker.
These plays have come up here in the second half. That was an incredible catch. 5 for 117. He split out all the way to the left of Garbers. First down. Underneath, behind, and incomplete. This is first incompletion of the second half.
And if you're USC's defense, you pin your ears back and you go after the quarterback. You know it's a passing situation. You think Garber's not going to have all day back there to throw. Just a little bit off target there to Logan Loya. When you always said when I was in 2-minute situations, coach, just give me a play that I can get a completion and get this drive going. Tried to get one there, just missed it.
His big tight end, Moliki Mataval, has a touchdown tonight, but he has been quiet for most of the evening. He wears number 88. Second down. Garber sliding over the middle, low. And yes, no. From the backside, we have one saying incomplete and one saying complete.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. This is the 2-minute timeout.
Quick look at this. Throws it a little bit low. Yeah, the ball hits the ground, kind of traps it there. Good call by the refs.
From the back judge, he's the one who waved off the completion call from the side. Ethan Garbers has been excellent in the second half. He'll need to be at his very best if UCLA is going to beat USC. At the Rose Bowl, USC took the lead back here late in the second half. They're up 6. Third down and 10 for Ethan Garbers. Garbers, well protected, lets it go. Incomplete. Jacoby Covington, tight coverage to knock it away, and it's 4th and 10.
If you're UCLA right now, 4th and 10, may think about bringing an extra protector in. USC might come after you. Ethan's not going to have all day to throw it, but you got to find number 7, J. Michael Sturdivant. He's been your playmaker all night. Where is he on the football field? And if you're USC and you come after Ethan Garbers, find a way to double team number 7.
See where Sturdivant goes. He is the lone wide receiver to the right of Garbers on 4th and 10.
Timeout. UCLA. Their 3rd and final charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
So no more timeouts left. They had to burn that last one there. And they'll talk about 4th and 10.
They must not have liked the look that they were getting. Kind of like to save that timeout if you do convert on this 4th down. Always have that so you can attack the middle of the field. Now they're going to be in a situation here if they do convert, being real conscious of the clock without a timeout.
A lot of plays there in front of Eric Bieniemy. See what he dials up on 4th down and 10. Bruins have to get just beyond the 35-yard line. Garbers, 3-man rush. Looking, drilled, incomplete. Turnover on downs, 1:46 left, and USC up by 6.
That's a good job by USC. They felt like they could get home with their rush and still play 2 deep safeties, play coverage, make it a contested throw. Ethan Garbers has to move, trying to find somebody, anybody. Just zips it right over Montalval's head. Garbers takes a shot. You know it's 4th down. You got to keep that ball in bounds. Huge stop.
And now they
Coach Lynn and USC.
used all those timeouts. USC will just take a knee a series of times here. And Danton Lynn from UCLA last year was a part of their victory. To the Trojan sideline this time. Deshaun Foster was on the winning side as a player and a running back for UCLA. Looks like his first one as the head coach at his alma mater will go to the Trojans. Garbers was perfect literally for much of the second half. Passing game just couldn't get going there on that last drive. They snapped the ball with 1 second left on the play clock. Take another knee. Do that 2 more times. And it's victory USC and Lincoln Riley.
Good job by USC just staying patient. You had a lull there in the 3rd quarter. A couple momentum changes. Coach Lincoln Riley said they made the switch to Jaden. He said he's poised. Nothing ever gets too big for him. He showed up in the 4th quarter, scrambled around and made some plays. Helped this USC football team find the end zone in the 4th quarter and win this football game.
And exercise a season-long demon in the process against their #1 rival. We talked about the fact that in all 5 of their losses, they lost a lead in the 4th quarter. Well, tonight, they will not lose a lead. Lincoln Riley moves to 2-1 in his career against the UCLA Bruins. UCLA has an almost. Bruins scored 10 points in the 3rd. They got shut out in the 4th. The 94th version of USC-UCLA goes to the Trojans.